Tell me about how you felt about becoming a referee and over time the progression of being able to call matches and eventually segueing into managing.
Well, my thing was this, I was still green, so I really didn't know a whole lot. I was just, happy to have the job. And so when I started refereeing, I had a chance to ride with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, God rest his soul, and Kevin Sullivan. Well, these two guys here, if you know anything about them, they were geniuses. They knew
Mhm.
this business like the back of their hand. Well, I'm lucky enough to be in the car with these two guys, and they're talking about wrestling there because at that particular time, Kevin and Eddie was doing some of the booking. So I'm like they're right in the heart of it, listening to everything that's going on, how they're putting the show together, how they're doing this, how they're doing that. And I don't say a word. I'm just remembering everything that I hear. So as time went on, Kevin we always had a deal where we would go to Disney and we would do the TV tapings in Disneyland down in Tampa,
Disney World.
Orlando.
Mhm. Disney
So
World.
every night I would always go to Kevin's room when he got ready to book NWO or whatever, and I would sit there in the room and go over all the bookings and go with him. I would just watch him and stuff that he done, and nobody never knew that. Nobody
Wow.
never knew that I was in that room going with all that information. But we kept it, Kevin understood and he made me understand what it is. We keep it on the down low, you know what I mean? Kevin liked me for some reason, and I appreciate that because he certainly did a lot for me. And also Eddie Gilbert, he liked me for some reason too, and he helped me a whole lot. So that's how I got involved. So so riding with those two guys, one night we was going down the road, so we get a six pack. We now get a 12 pack. That was the thing back in the day. Once you leave one of the events, you get a 12 pack and hit the road and hit to the next town. So I'd get a couple of beers in and I'd turn the radio up and down and start DJing for them. They didn't know that had been a DJ. So I started doing that. And so they looking at me like, wow, man. But I'm thinking they're just impressed with my DJing, but they saw that I could talk. So it was Kevin Sullivan's idea and also Eddie Gilbert to make me a manager because once they saw I could talk. Well, there were certain people that didn't want me to be a manager. They didn't want no part of it, but we happened to
Mhm.
overcome them. So that way is how I started managing. It was because of Kevin Sullivan and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
And you made the transition too, because you were refereeing a match. I think I heard you had refereed a match, and somehow you turned heel on.
I had a match with Ron Simmons and the Junkyard Dog, and
Mhm.
God rest his soul. And I turned heel right there, and I did the fast count on JYD.
Wow.
And then after that, that was part of it. They fired me from that. And the next time you saw me, well, I did two things. I went in the New Orleans Superdome and I did the fast count on the Road Warriors, on the
Mm.
signers. Okay, so we screwed them. That was the first one. Then I went to TV and I did the fast count with Ron Simmons and JYD. So then Jim Hurd come out. He said they wasn't putting up with that no more. They fired me. So I stayed away about a week or two, and the next time you saw me, I come back in. I came out scouting, looking at different guys, and That's how I started managing.
I mean, you were cutting some really intense promos back then. I mean, you were managing. Back then, I believe they were. Was it the Ebony Express?
Well, they were with Nancy Sullivan, God rest her soul, Nancy Benoit. She had them first, and they were the Ebony. No, let's see. They were something else then. They called them Ebony Express. I believe that's what they were. I'm
Yes.
thinking about
Yeah.
somebody else now. They were then, and then once I got them, then we changed the name to Doom.
Yeah. I mean, Butch Reed and Ron Simmons were a really good tag team.
Well,
Hard hitting.
that was a great team, man. They really took uplifted my career, and they were great in the ring, so we had a great time.